For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you a bit of a kind of a review video on a new product from Outwell. So with me here today I've got the Outwell Canopy Tarp. Basically comes in two different sizes. You've got sort of the M and the L, i.e. the medium and the large. And it's a great addition to the front of your tent or even as a standalone tarp. So it's a great little option, something a bit different and almost replaces kind of Outwell's sort of universal awnings they did. So it's a bit more simpler, much easier to pitch, and generally, like I said, it can fit any make or manufacturer of tents and be used on its own. So with me today, I'm using actually the L model, which is more meant for large tents. So it's about a width of about 4 meters wide, by about 390 deep. Whereas the M is more meant for smaller tents, so it can be even used on a small little 3-berth tent, for example, and it's about 3 meters, 10 wide by 330 deep. So this obviously gives you an idea of what sort of 4 meter, really nice span. I've got it currently set up on the Outwell Moonhill 6. So it's one of the sort of wider tents, around about sort of 390 width, to give you a bit more of an idea. Alternatively, of course, the 3 will look something like this. So that is set up on the Sunhill Free Air, so again, a much smaller model, i.e. sort of like a couple's tent. So there is quite a contrast really of how big and small you can be. The joys of actually, in terms of the way it pitches, we've done our own separate pitching video showing us how it's done. Took about 7 or 8 minutes to do, maybe probably more talking than anything else, but gives you an idea about simplistic it is. As standard, it comes with 3 steel poles, uprights, which also are adjustable, so you can alternate the height that you want with there as well. Means that you can actually get a proper drainage off it, and it sort of slopes naturally. Now, there are eyelet points pretty much nearly everywhere, so like I said, you can not only use it as a canopy, but you can, in theory, buy a couple of to go at the back and do it like that, or just use 2 of the 3 and create your sort of teepee, not teepee style tarp, but like a sort of classic kind of camping style tarp with sort of the cabs. By all means, why wouldn't you buy additional poles? So any sort of king pole will probably do. You can feed it in and just increase the height of it. So again, lots of options, all guides and pretty much all points. Now, for Outwell tents in particular, what you find is there is this little tab located at the back here. Now that is what you connect as little kind of, we'll call it like carabiner kind of style clips that clip onto that and then clip onto the tarp. So you can actually, you know, alternate and much more, it's definitely more a solid connection because you're not just relying on the fabric overlapping, it's a bit more of a connection and then the guying back on itself. So like I say, if you didn't have that on the Outwell collection, not an issue. Just use the guy ropes, as you can see here, pull that thing back. There's one in the central point, which would be a bit trickier to take directly over the back of the tent. So really relying on the 2 either side just to open up and pull it back in. But the joys with sort of the Outwell sort of collection is the fact that you've got a separate tab. So if you have got a wider tent, you can reposition this point to give it a wider span. So you can sort of narrow it in and make it wider to a certain degree. So there is a little bit of tolerance in that. Traditionally, I'd probably say if you are like a, I know for example, say like a 2.5 meter up to about maybe say 3.5, I would probably recommend going for the medium. Anything more than that, I'd probably say the large is better to go for. Like I say, you don't necessarily have to connect it directly to the tent, but overlap the fabric. In fact, let's kind of pick the camera up actually, and we'll kind of look a bit more up close and personal with the tarp canopy. So you can really alter kind of the front section, so you can obviously put the pole in located here instead, and you've got a good amount of height to it, and you can see how it kind of just nice and neatly overlaps with it, with the little points there. It sits really quite nicely. You've got eyelets located on the side as well, so you can guy it at all points, but I think it's just a really great addition. It's worth mentioning obviously the fact that it would be an addition to the tents. You still need kind of to a certain degree the guy ropes underneath the tent here, just because the tent still needs sort of structural support. You probably get away with just not having the middle one up depending on the weather conditions, and kind of go from there. And all of the points come really neatly tied and connected to it, so again you can reposition how you want to go with that. Like I said, you can choose a different point to sort of keep it looking really nice and smart. But alternatively, you can obviously guy it out fully, so you can come back here. But I think a really nice, simple but very effective way of giving yourself a bit more extra shelter, especially when you sort of on the inside. You can see here, you sort of really create this kind of extra space away from everything. A really nice, actually, Outwell embossed fabric. A decent level of waterproof level. I believe it's about 4,000 ml hydrostatic head. And if you need more information, of course, feel free to follow the link below this video. It'll take you straight through to our website. We have all the information there at a touch of a button, along with kind of the pitching video, showing myself pitching up and waffling on a lot of it as well. But yeah, really great product, great little thing. Just a little extra. I think it's quite nice, and it doesn't break the bank in terms of actually how much it costs, but I think it will add a lot of value to your camping experience. And certainly if you've got a small tent and you don't want the burden of a big extension, or if you've got an older tent and you can't find an extension for it, I think that it's a great little option. That's our little video review. Any more questions or queries, feel free to contact us or comment in the box below what you think of the product, as we always love to hear from you guys. But that is really, in a nutshell, the Outwell Canopy Tarp, either the L, of course, the alternative is the M. Thanks for watching, and we'll hopefully see you again soon.